Right, welcome back everybody to... I don't remember this opening. Obviously we're playing Mario 2, the Game Boy Advance version, which is known as Super Mario Advance. I like this version better than the original, mainly because it has stupid voice acting in it. We're gonna pull the title up from the ground here. And they're doing... Also, yeah. Super Mario 2 Advance! Alright, we're gonna play single player. Give it an option here. Just a second. You want to play Super Mario 2? Or you want to play Super Mario World? I mean, regular Super Mario. We're going to play regular Super Mario 2, thank you. Oh, here we come. We're going to play World 1-1. You can see I had a little bit of a play file already going, cause I forgot how to play this game. It's been probably more than 10 years since I picked up a game. Well, it's been less than 10 years since I picked up a Game Boy Advance, but it has been probably about 15 years since I played this game. Either version. So that's what we're gonna do here. I'm gonna play this version of the game. Gonna be super duper. There's this. They're making noises. They said "Lucky, Rocky." That's where the Rocky comes from. If you ever heard me say Rocky, that's where this. This is the game where it comes from. Rocky. I'm moving now. Oh no! I fall down. Go boom. Do I get the mushroom? Yes. Da 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 da! I did it! Yeah, power blocks in this game, which are not new to the Mario series at this point, but if you'd played only Mario 1, you would think so. Power blocks exist in Super Mario, the arcade game. It's sort of a clear-all sort of thing. I like how most of the characters in this first area wear masks, whether they be Shy Guys or whatever they call the birds with the masks. Another power block. Thank you. Rocky. Rocky. Anyways, I like Super Mario 2. It's a little different than the actual real Super Mario 2 on the NES. The little what's it called? Cherries are, I believe, a new addition to this game. Where I don't think there is a superstar that you can pick up and just go kind of invincible. If you're looking to skip over the middle portion of it, you can do one of those. However, I'm not going to skip over the middle portion. I'm just going to grab this heart, or this mushroom real quick. See? I was right on top of it. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go through the rest of the area. I know where the shortcuts are. They're not... I mean, they're not... Let me put it this way. They're not hard to figure out. Every one of the vases or pipes or whatever you want to call those things are... I'm not getting that. That's okay. Every one of the vases you could pretty much go down into. If there's a vase that you can't go down into, you need a magic potion door, and then you need to go down in there into the vase, and that's essentially a warp that'll warp you to a later level. So early in the first area there is a warp that'll warp you to World 4, and then from 4 to 8, I believe. So that's what we're gonna not be doing, because I'm gonna show off all the levels, because there's only 3 levels in each world. The levels are more, how do I put it? The levels are more complicated than like a Mario 1 or a Mario 3. Mario 1 obviously, and Mario 3 being side scrollers. and this game being slightly more of a like, hey, let's go find some shit. I say slightly more because a lot of what you're seeing me do, I'm not sure is in the original Super Mario World. If I call it Super Mario World, I apologize. It's Super Mario 2. This did touch on kind of an interesting concept where a lot of, I wouldn't say all the platforming, a lot of the platforming in this game is not necessarily east to west, but north and south. So rather than creating an ever rising floor of death, they let you go up and down the boards. So if you happen to fall down, you can continue to fall. The one side effect of that is the left and right sides wrap around each other. So if you go left, you end up on the right side of the screen. If you go right, you end up on the left side of the screen. Just like, yep. So we're not going to be worried about collecting the red coins. Some of the red coins actually require, I believe you can do them all. You can do pretty much all of them with just Mario or Peach or Toad. Believe. But I know there's one that's it's much more difficult to get unless you have Luigi as your playable character. So, I mean, you're certainly capable of using Luigi, killing yourself, and going back to a different character if you want to play. Well, what I'm doing is I'm playing a strictly Mario playthrough of this because the reason I say I'm doing it that way is because once you get used to Peach's or Luigi's jumps, it's very difficult to go back to Toad or Mario. You get so used to the way their jump arcs are, and it makes it very difficult, like I said, to go back to the others. Whereas, like, in other games, you could pretty much, you know, Mario, Luigi, any other side character that you're playing as, they all have this same general jump arc. You know what I mean? Now Peach obviously retains her flutter jump in other games, but that's a little more forgiving than Mario 2. This is one of a couple times where they're going to put a giant pit between you and progression, and you're going to have to figure out how to get through the pit. Dying is not well, dying is an option, but it won't get you progression. Oh, the little guy on the, I don't remember any of their names, but, there on the carpet is one way to get across a pit like this. Riding a character like these bee-like guys with the pitchforks is another one. If you can bounce on their head, that is. I'm moving now. One mushroom, please. Thank y'all. So we won't be going down too many of these vases. Oh, I was gonna say I thought this vase you could go down. The reason I say I'm not gonna go down too many vases is because a lot of them are very much the same. They all have the same general gimmick to them. There's not really too much difference between one and another. Though they will throw in some random stuff, like some of the vases have magic potions in them, you know, that you need to pull out of the vase and find the magic, the one-up mushroom, or the not the one-up mushroom, the health-up mushroom. Some of them have, one-ups in them, but that's okay. And based on my initial playthrough up to level World 4 of this game, I can tell you that there is going to be dying, and I mean a lot of it. I mean, I don't mean like I'm gonna get a lot of continues, but there's a good chance that at some point I'm gonna have to use a continue. Now, as I get more used to the controls, maybe that isn't that big of a deal. Maybe that doesn't happen. We'll have to see. And no, I do not know where all the mushrooms are, despite the fact that I basically nailed all of them in the first world. I do not know where they are. I'm not going to look them up either. Because, for the most part, either I'm going to attempt to find them myself, or if I really can't find them, I'm just going to skip it. I mean, you don't have to collect all the hearts in this game to get 100%, you know? I'm more interested in you collecting the stupid red coins. Yeah, so if you collect enough of the cherries, they turn into a invincibility star, which we will use a little bit, I think, but I'm not really going to rely too heavily on making sure I have an invincibility star, or I'm building up towards invincibility stars. Because again, these levels are just a little too short for that. As you can see, I've already gotten to Birdo on the second world here. Level, I mean. Also, I'm pretty sure that the original Super Mario 2 is not this generous with their hearts, just sort of laying around everywhere. I'm sure this is a much easier version of Mario 2. Though I do know they introduced Robo Birdo in one of the levels. So that's not something you find in the original Super Mario 2. Because they basically take your major bosses, which are Mauser, Tri-Clyde, I think there's a crab enemy you fight. And instead of, you know, basically making sure that every level has a unique boss, they sort of recycle Tri-Clyde and Mauser a number of times. And I don't mean like, okay, you're gonna do an easy Mauser fight, and then you're gonna get a difficult Mauser fight. I mean like you're going to do the same Mauser fight 3 times. Rocky! Yeah, I know he's not saying Rocky, he's saying Lucky. But, yeah, you play enough of these handheld Mario games, you start hearing things that aren't there. Dead. Here I go. So, one interesting thing you can do is if you throw that and move forward, you can sometimes catch the big vegetable again and then continue your combo by basically taking out all those enemies that are below as well. I really don't like logs in this game. I don't know, I have like a brain... not a brain aneurysm, but like I have like a mental block when it comes to them. I see the logs and I go, I'm going to die. Like that! I see logs, must die. Let's fall between the very small area between logs every time. I almost caught. If I kept going and jumped, I probably could have caught that as well. This is a nothing. Now I'm being super cautious because I only have a baby Mario. Also, I know that there's more logs at the end of this jammer. That was a ride, Kennywood, near where I live. The log jammer. Which, of course, it actually... It was a Kennywood ride. It was a water ride. Many people said it actually did the opposite of jam your logs. It more or less loosened them up, so you had to take a dump immediately after. Took it out to make room for a different ride. The last 5 or so years. I don't really know, to be honest. I say a lot because you know, when you're a little kid, you want to go to Kennywood, so you go with your parents or any amusement park. And then when you're a teenager, you want to go by yourself with your friends because that's like the coolest thing you can do on your own. You know, all day fun, rides, hanging out with your bros, eating patch fries, you know. And then as you get older, like in your 20s, you don't really have any reason to go because like you already did that, and like you don't like hanging out with teenagers no more. Not that adults can't enjoy Kennywood or any other amusement park. It's particularly when they're doing new rides, get you in there, get you interested. This is one of the warp areas. You bring the magic potion over here, go through the magic door, you know, through the red door, and then go down the try to go down the pipe, which will actually be, instead of being grayed out, it'll actually be colored, and that'll actually warp you to, I believe, to the fourth world. So not that that's what I did, because I kind of needed practice on playing this game again. This is probably another one of those additions to the advanced version where they let you cycle between bomb, heart, and power star, you know, superstar. Two of the three which are important. The third one is situational, depending on if you have blocks that you can blow up, or perhaps an enemy you need to throw bombs at. I don't know. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. When I was doing my test run, it took me an hour and a half to go through this first world. I continued way too many times because I just could not get Mario's jump down. I kept over jumping things or under jumping pits, and it's just like, ugh. Now I got more or less got his jump arc in my brain again. We're good to go. You're gonna see occasional misses though, where I miss a jump by a few inches. So, also don't fall down in the pit. It's instant death in Shadow World or whatever they call this. So even though we are in World 1-3, and I know there's going to be other gimmicks that we're going to run into later on, but we've basically run into most of the gimmicks already, which is get key, use key to unlock door, far away from door where you get key. If you get overwhelmed by mask guy, throw key. But don't throw key too far, it despawn. Despawn bad. There's a side note to it, just sort of reminded, the way I was talking just sort of reminded me. I started watching a new YouTube channel called Caveman Explains, and it's a guy pretending to be it's an animation first of all, but instead of like actually animating cell by cell, it's a lot of like what do you call that, where the cells generally don't move and you're just kind of watching it, and like every couple seconds it'll flip to the next frame to indicate that you're now doing something a little different. Nice. I'm not going to get a 1-up from this, unfortunately. And that's a pit. There's a pit. There's a pit that's literally Mario width wide. I will find a way to do it. I also find a way to literally land on the guy just the perfect way so that I die. Just like that. I do it 2 times in a row, in fact. Isn't that great? Try not to continue, though. Because if I continue, I go back to the beginning. And this is not a Mario game where you get 0 Mario lives. You get 1 Mario life and then you continue. Alright, let's continue. Awesome. So, again, even though I thought I'd prepared correctly, we gotta continue. In the first world, again. Try not to do that in the future. Great. Sigh. I'd have to recollect all the mushrooms I just got. Lucky, 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 lucky. You can also get coins here, which lets you use the roulette wheel at the end of the stage. Hooray! I'm teaching people stuff that they should know, either because they've already played Mario 2 on the NES, or they've already watched a Let's Player play Mario 2, or a streamer, or they've played Super Mario Advance. Classic. That's me making noises with my glass. Crocky. So, I guess since I have a little bit of time here between now and when this episode ends, got a little bit more time, let's tell a quick story. As you know, we've been talking the last couple months, trying all kinds of different bourbons, trying to learn new shit, trying to become more well-rounded alcoholic. I mean, person who likes to enjoy a sip or two of a certain American-made whiskey. I don't know. I guess I can tell that story now. When I went to college, I had a professor, and I forget his name off the top of my head. It was, yeah, I'm gonna screw it up. If I say it's Professor Ware, I'm probably wrong. I'm probably thinking one of my other professors. But I had a literature professor who, despite the fact that I cannot remember his name off the top of my head right now, has made a very lasting impression on me, which is maybe what college professors are supposed to do. And one of his weird gimmicks, in addition to being a literature professor, which is a bit weird. Not that reading books is stupid, but I don't know. Making your entire life about reading books is a little weird to me. Anywho, he was, for some reason, he was very, very into the concept of Americana. And I not like, oh, here's Andy Warhol drawing a picture of Campbell's tomato soup. But like, what is uniquely American? And he would argue that, well, baseball, you'd say baseball's an American pastime. It was not baseball itself, concept of bat and ball, stick and ball, what have you, is not a unique feature to America. What is a unique feature to America, a unique sport that was designed and created and popularized in America, basketball. Created in the from what I understand, it's created in the YMCA. You could certainly argue that there is, that there's been sports with balls that you've needed to put either through a ring or a hoop or whatever, including but not limited to soccer, being an example of you're putting a ball into a very large hoop, which we call a goal. So the concept is not really all that new. But bouncing the basketball, all the rules, all the rules that the guy, whoever came up with it, I guess is a fun sport, because I think the original hoop was made out of a bottomed out milk crate, if I remember correctly, so it was square and not circular. But as he explains it, it is a uniquely American creation. It's not a creation that we took, cricket, for instance, is an example. We took cricket from, and we may have changed up a couple of rules and regulations, but it's still ball you're throwing, and you're hitting it with some sort of bat, or can't remember what they call the flat stick they use in curling. Anyways, so you could definitely say that, and even if you go to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, which I would say if you want to go to the Hall of Fame, you better do it either when someone's being inducted, or you really gotta love some baseball, because that place is in the middle of nowhere. Unlike, you know, going to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is in Cleveland, or going to Canton, Ohio, which is, again, well, that's a little out of the way too, but yeah, and it's not like literally in the middle of New York State, Cooperstown is. I don't know. Long story short, I was very interested in things that are uniquely American. Basketball being one of them, jazz being another. Anything that was uniquely American interested the shit out of him. And for some reason that always rubbed off on me. I'm doing a great job, aren't I? I mean, I'm gaining lives because I'm throwing the power block and killing enough guys to create a 1-up. But I'm not really necessarily making progress either. In fact, I'm going backwards by doing what I just did there. But, I don't know, that kind of stuck with me. This idea of, okay, you're going to have an American creation, or you're going to have the American take on something. It's not only going to be different, it's going to be unique to its predecessor. Scotland has their Scotch, America has their bourbon, you know. And then, of course, somebody created gin and someone created tequila and rum. I don't really particularly care about those at this moment, but you get my point. So we're gonna fight, as this is world... I'm gonna throw some bombs! This is Bowser. Not to be confused with Mauser, which is the cat upgraded thingy that was in one of the Super Mario games, side-scrolling. No, it was in Super Mario 3D something, 3D World or something. This is Mouser, like a mouse with an ER at the end, instead of Meowser, which is meow plus Bowser. So, if anyone is privileged enough to watch the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, which is trash, I know I talked about it in an earlier episode, probably about 2 years ago when I was re-watching the Super Mario Brothers Super Show for the first time in 20 years, or close to it. Now, actually it's probably been more than 20 years. It was probably about 6 or 7 when I was watching either reruns or the original Saturday morning run of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. And then I watched it again at some point when I was about 35.